Hi, everyone. It's my pleasure to introduce JB Jose Barrios and his NA-41 Vision EMI SIG Beyond the Bridge. JB asked that I not read his bio because it's as big as his I Love Me wall. So I will, without further ado, if you have questions, use our chat tool, please. And I would love to welcome JB to the virtual stage. Over to you, JB.
Thank you, Jen. Greatly appreciate it. Uh, quick, quick and brief introduction because I want to get through a lot of things in this presentation. First of all, I want to thank the steering committee and the subcommittee chairs that were extremely instrumental in putting this together, uh, in getting us and crossing the bridge, as the theme states here. So this is the vision beyond the bridge. Where are we going after this? One of the things that I will tell you off the bat, this presentation is not how to boil the egg. It's not the type of presentation that I'm going to give you, but the main purpose of the presentation is to provide a vision for the future of the EMI. Where do we want to go? We're on the bridge. We've done some great work to the different subcommittees and the different working groups. So what's next? We can't stagnate. We have momentum. We have great individuals cooperating and providing quality information to the entire enterprise. So it's time to keep the foot on the gas, get across the bridge, and then figure out which other roads we're going to take. So that's where I'm looking at for this presentation. So you're not going to see, this is not a how to do, this is not a EM guide, this is not a quick guide, this is a vision. So with that said, as most of you hear me all the time, we got to remind ourselves, why do we exist? EMI SIG charter. We all have to look back and take those words in the EMI SIG charter. That's been a standing charter for almost 34 years. So it's critical that we all focus, because that's what guides the vision beyond the bridge. I've highlighted some of the words in red that I think from my perspective are critical. A lot of this information has been bounced back and forth between members of the steering committee and the subcommittees and others within NA-41, the NA-41 support team in Albuquerque, and anybody that we can do a drive-by shooting on and ask them, what do you think? Are we off base? Are we not off base? So you will see on the right side of the slides, in the gray area, you're just going to see some key nuggets that I pulled out, because a vision always has to have a driver. So our driver here is, I put the NSA mission, but it also relates to the DOE mission. It's pretty much the same. I just got the NSA mission because of the most recent mission that we got from the NSA strategic plan. So that's our guiding principle throughout the entire complex, in particular through NSA for this. But that's our mission for the EMI SIG. That's the purpose. And I think, being biased, but I think that every member of the EMI SIG so far has been in line with that mission and that focus on why do we exist? What should we provide for the enterprise? So we go through the charter. Again, definition. Words have meaning. Most of you have heard me many times say reading is fundamental. Well, it is true. Reading is fundamental. But we also have to define things so that we know what the end goal is and what the objective. You look on the right side, key. We have to strive to improve. We're not perfect. We can resolve 10 problems today. Number 11 might show up tomorrow. Can we all go back to March of this year, pandemic? We thought we had plans. We thought we had processes. Well, plans only survive the first 5 minutes of contact. So it's important, I believe, that we all, okay, where, the how, and the when. What's a vision? What's a roadmap? And what's a plan? Three different aspects and three different definitions that mean completely different things. One is not independent of the other, but the biggest takeaway here is that they all share cross-cutting goals. a vision, a roadmap, and a plan, it always looks towards what's the people, what's the mission, what's the success, how do we measure success, what are those managerial or operational tools that we need to enable us to integrate, synchronize innovative science, technology, and all those engineering tools that are out. And one of the key things is so we know where, we know how, we know when, where we want to go, how we want to get there, and when do we want to get there. That's the plan. So then we move to the next. So what? Okay, JB, you're saying all this thing, blah, 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 blah. So how do we get there? What's the so what? The key to all this is for all this to work, it requires patience, transparency, and most important is discipline. If you want it bad, that's how, you want it bad and fast, that's how bad you're going to get it. So those are the things that as an entity, as a community, as the EMI SIG group, we must continue to be patient. We must continue to be transparent so we can share those things, that we're not working three things at the same time. And we must be disciplined. So I want to cue you on that word that says ISAM on the left. Just keep that in mind as we move along. So ISAM, okay, we got to be intelligent, innovative. We got to integrate things. S, we got to share things. It has to be seamless. A, key, adaptive. But even more important in our business, accurate. We must be able to repeat the same lie twice. That's the way I sometimes look at it from that perspective. And then the last letter in I, Sam, manageable. M, okay, can we manage? We can't ask for 1,000 things if we're not going to use them, because that's a burden on the site. It's a burden on the operators that are having to meet all those requirements. So, and most of you have heard me that in the beginning. Okay, what are we asking that for? And if somebody can't show me what they're using that data for, it goes away. As a prime example, what we've done with the ERAP, how we've modified the ERAP with those critical information requirements that we do need to make to meet our requirement for reporting to hire and how the emergency management enterprise is working throughout the company. So I also want you to focus on this word SMART. And it's going to mean a couple different things. So remember ISAM, remember SMART. So now, how was all this born? How was the baby born? Most of you have experienced, some of you too close, the famous napkins, the JB napkin. So this napkin came to light. It was born really at the leadership summit when we met this past January, which seems like 10 years ago. When we met at the leadership summit, and we started, okay, we had all the subcommittee chairs and the steering committee. Okay, we're doing all these great things, but there's some things that we identified. Semtech was the first one to bring some of this stuff up. Okay, how do we are leveraging what we already have so it can be repeatable and it can be shared across all these different tools that we have out there. So the baby was born. And like I say, some babies are ugly and some are not, but they're all born. So this is the original napkin. This is not what I'm going to brief you in regards, because there's a lot of arrows. And this is only one page of 5, but I just want to give you the original napkin. So I talked to you about ISAM in the previous slide. What does ISAM stand for? So this is what we're looking at as ISAM as a concept. Is an intelligent synchronization of activities matrix. How do we synchronize all these issues, tools, and things that are going on throughout the entire enterprise from all the different EMI SIG subcommittees, and how we bring all those things together? Which I must say, I am very impressed with a number of the briefings that I've seen so far, because we're already on that road. We're almost at the other side of the bridge. Now we just got to figure out what's the shortest distance between 2 points to get all these things done. But for all this to work, there's three key points, as I mentioned before. We must be patient, we must be disciplined, and we must be transparent. If you have something to say or an opinion, you must bring it to the table, because then we can continue to move forward and we don't delay things more than they have. So I'm just going to move up so I can show you the big picture, the napkin. That's what it looks like when it was born. Uh, Again, there's more pages to this if you want to see all of them. That's good to go. So, so I talked about the big picture. I talked about ISAM. Remember what I said, smart. So this is what it looks like. We're on the bridge. And now you see all this is a spider web. Those are all the different subcommittees and all the different tools and activities and tasks that the subcommittees are working for the entire enterprise. And you see how they're all over the map, because that's the nature of our business. It's all over the map. So I want to focus now on what I say about smart. We got to be smart as individuals, but also this ISAM, this intelligent synchronization and activities matrix, has to be smart, has to be searchable, it has to be matrixed, it has to be accurate, it has to be reliable. We got to be able to get the info when we need the info. It also has to be timely. It shouldn't take 2 months to answer 2 plus 2 equals 4. And having, the information is out there, and we should be able to turn around and provide you that feedback, or get somebody that knows what feedback are you seeking, because they've already experienced it in some way, shape, or form. So smart. We gotta be smart. The system has to be smart. So then what does that mean? Wow. This is the pretty of that spaghetti that I just showed you in the previous slide. The intelligence of activities matrix. They're kind of hard to see here, but you will see that there's arrows that connect different areas. And I'll give you an example. We are working on Exercise Builder, which is a great tool. If you have not seen the latest briefing on Exercise Builder, you're missing out. So we have Exercise Builder. Now, there's a number of things that can be related to that with the EPI subcommittee, with the plan subcommittee, with some of the COOP subcommittee, all these other subcommittees out there. There is a linkage in some way, shape, or form. Our challenge is to identify who else should be engaged. How do we matrix this with other organizations that are working on a number of other things that at the moment, you might not know that they're related, but as you discuss some of these things, it comes out. It's a big umbrella concept, big umbrella concept. And I said smart, and you see those in the right side. Well, speaking with some other people that are much smarter, much, much smarter than I am. Smart also means the umbrella tool. And I'm in the next couple of slides, I'm gonna expand on what I mean. But smart also is the umbrella tool. And if you spell out smart as a synchronized matrix of activities, resources, and tools. Synchronized matrix of activities, resources, and tools. Okay, JB, what the heck does that mean? Here we go. We're already on the way. We are already on the way. We have the IRD. For those of you, the presentation on the IRD, it was a very good presentation today. Now, it says they're coming soon. Well, it's because my slides were done a little bit before today. But today, as of noon Eastern Standard Time, you can go onto EDMS at the homepage, and when you set a block, a little blue square that says IRD, and you can click on that, and you will see what I mean about being smart in this ISAM program that we're looking at. How all these things, we're using those tools available to make them talk to each other. So when you input on one place, that specific information is related to another data point somewhere else. So we're on the way already. As a matter of fact, in my opinion, I think we're much farther along than I thought. Once we get the guides approved, it's either going to be we're going to take another leap forward. So we have the IRD, the Interactive Requirements Document. We have the ECRAD. If you look at the ECRAD, it gives you the ability to set up what your criterion review and your LOIs for every specific program element. Now, the great thing about this is that all these are connected already. When you open the IRD, on the right side of the screen, you're going to see the ECRAFs associated with that specific paragraph. You put your mouse over a requirement in the DOE order 1511 Delta, and on the right side, you're going to have every FAQ, EMG, and CRADs associated with that. Down the road, the vision is that we also link Exercise Builder in the respect that when you go over one of those paragraphs as you're developing your exercises or you're reading the order, it pops up some examples of already pre-developed measles that, exercise measles that have already been developed and used and proven in the field. So all you have to do is change the name to protect the innocent or the guilty. And now you have a building block for your exercise plan or your development of other actions. Then we have the ERAP. You have seen that it's now all automated. It carries over information from one to the next. So you don't have to re-input the Word document and so forth. Same thing with the RAMRAR, as you were briefed on the Readiness Assurance Matrix. Now we're making the RAMRAR and the ERAP. There's some key LOIs that are the same. So then as you're updating this on a 3 times a year basis, it's already feeding into your ERAP. So your ERAP is getting built for the end of the year for that suspense submission. Then we have the FAQ and the TSRs all linked to this IRD. What's next? Exercise Builder. The chemical mixtures methodology tool. I know the DMSC is working in some other tools from the meteorological perspective. What about the CAR, the Continuity Readiness Report? What about EPICode, Hotspot, all those technical planning basis documents? Maybe an EPHA template or format that you input stuff and build your EPHA. Those are the things that this vision, what we're looking at from the steering committee on which way we want to go forward. So there's a lot of tools, great tools out there. So the key to effectiveness and efficiency is the synchronization of all this data. We have it. It's out there. All the experts are sitting next door to you. Well, maybe not this past couple of months, but most of the time sitting next door to you or a phone call away. Now a WebEx call away. So that's the vision. That's what we need to move as an organization from the EMI SIG, because we provide when I say we, sounds like a lot of people, you as the folks on the ground, the hands-on, the reality checker. We can write, paper will hold anything you put on it. So we can write anything on paper, but it's the folks on the ground that have to turn the keys and do X, Y, and Z and say, well, it looked pretty on this freaking piece of paper, but it doesn't, I don't know what it means. I don't know what it means. So efficiency and effectiveness. With that, we are beyond the bridge. We know what beyond the bridge is. What the vision for all this action. There's a great, interesting quote, which I put there from Terry Knorr a couple of days ago. Terry Knorr has been around, and I'm not going to tell his age, but he's been around for a while. He's seen more things and forgets more things than any of us will probably ever learn. And it was very uplifting to hear from him, somebody that knows and have seen so many, has been around the block more than once, just to hear from him that how reinvigorated he feels and how recharged he feels by the activities and the things that the EMI SIG as a whole and the different subcommittees are providing on a day-to-day basis. So thank you all for everything you do, for your efforts. The worst thing that somebody can tell you is no. So let's try new things. Let's push the envelope. Let's go beyond the bridge. Let's see what's at the other side. Let's build a new bridge. Maybe it's a space shuttle. I don't know. So, and he doesn't end here. This is just, like I said, the vision. There will be a roadmap, and that roadmap will tell you, will be written out. It'll be coordinated with the steering committee. It'll go out to the subcommittee chairs to get a quick look and revision and say, okay, is this roadmap, is this good? So then we can develop each one individually, each group can develop their next 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year plan. We got to be patient. Some things can be done in a year. Some things might take 2, 3 years. Be patient, be disciplined. And with that said, once again, thank you very much for everything that you do. The quality of work, the quality of products that you put out every single time, it's amazing. So with that said, I'm opening the floor for questions. So let's have a great remainder of the EMI SIG, the first ever virtual EMI SIG. Thank you.
Thank you so much, JB, for your vision and your support and your sense of humor through it all. I don't have any questions right now, but if anybody would like to enter some into the chat field, please do so now. And while we're getting more questions, I just want to remind everybody to go ahead and if you do think of a question that we have to do afterwards, please click on JB's bio at the bottom and send him an email for a question. Also, don't forget to take your survey and get attendance for receiving, for going to this course, this session. Here is a question from Yuri Graves. Will we be pursuing a partnership with the International Associates of Emergency Managers, IAEM? That's question number 1.
Yes, there's always an opportunity. Again, those are some of the things that I don't have from a headquarters perspective. I don't have a good line into it right now. We have discussed that, just like we've have included some of our UK partners, who some of them are on participating in the EMI SIG this year again virtually from beautiful UK. So yeah, that is part of this. What's beyond the bridge? Who else do we need to talk to? What other things are out there that we can integrate or share or set the standard for the rest of the federal government, the rest of the facilities?
Okay, and the follow-up question, will there be an any intro courses for new emergency management specialists that covers all aspects of their duties, EPHAs, EPHS, there's too many acronyms, JB, readiness assurance, planning, etc.?
There are some, right now, there are some individual courses out there. That is something that Terrence Jackson was working on. Now Kenneth Thomas is working on with the NTC. Again, some of those things are outside of the NA-41 lane if it has to do with NTC. So those, and you have this thing called TQP, Technical Qualifications Program for specific individuals. So there are things in there that we still have to further develop to see how much we can dive into some of those lanes. But individually, and maybe that's something that I'll have some of my folks take a look at. Individually, there's a number of courses if you go to EDMS that cover specific aspects. I know I saw the draft or the beta version of the meteorological one, and I thought it was, I mean, all I know the weather is it sunny? Can I play golf or not? And after watching what they have put together, Fernando Alusi and Walt and Carl Mazzola, I mean, there's a lot of great tools out there and training tools. Yeah, we probably need to look at probably have a stepping stone, almost like the FEMA IS 100, or so we'll call it EMI SIG 100, 200, 300, and have a sequence of courses on, and that's a good task for the training subcommittee. He just put something in their slide so quickly. Appreciate it.
Ben Harm will be very happy about that. And I apologize, but we are at the end of our time. Carol Eifert did have a great question, but I'd like to get your opinion, maybe during social hour tonight. How do you see NA-41 changing post-COVID-19? But maybe you can respond to that later on tonight. And for those of you, please do your survey. Also, don't forget our next session is Facility Response Team with Jamie Harrison. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. And also, you also have the opportunity to select on the left or all from the schedule on the left. You're always welcome to join another channel, to watch an SBX demonstration, attend a workshop, or participate in the user group. Thanks again, JB, for your vision, and thank you for your presentation. We'll see you later.
Thank you all.